Welcome back. All right, so we've got an early game on Saturday, so record Friday night, post it on Saturday morning. Good call. Something I figured out last year, and I was like, why didn't I think of this sooner? So we got 14 games on 14. This board's almost full. There are no days that are beyond 15. You could technically have 16 games in an NHL night. There are none of those to this point. So 14 games, starting with at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, the Florida Panthers and the Buffalo Sabres. What I intend to do is to, after these two games are done, do a review of these two on their own, and then the other 12 will get the review at the end of the night. So, starting with Florida and Buffalo, this is the first of four meetings. They'll meet again January 16th, February 24th, and April 4th. Both teams are 1-0. So, what's with the percentage? This is the all-time points percentage of the franchises. So for Buffalo, their all-time points percentage 529 is actually better than Florida's 514. I thought it was a fun way to look at it, and it doesn't mean anything, no. But I thought that's a fun number to throw up there because we're still so early in the season. The stats don't really matter yet. So yeah, traditionally Buffalo's been pretty decent. That 529 is a good points percentage. 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific start time between Vancouver and Philly. First of two meetings, of course. The next meeting will be in Vancouver on February 18th. Vancouver's season is very often, in this channel's history especially, undone by the East Coast road trips. So they're going to be trying to avoid that early in the season. For Vancouver, they're 0-1. Philadelphia, of course, won their first game against New Jersey. They have some momentum. Vancouver's going to look to cut that off. In terms of all-time winning percentage, Vancouver 489, one of the few teams in the league below 500. Philadelphia 571 is their all-time points percentage. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. So there's a gap in between of 3 hours between these two. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Beginning with the Arizona Coyotes and the Boston Bruins. So this is the first of two meetings. They'll meet again December 9th. That'll be at Arizona State University. The Coyotes are 0-1. They have a career or an all-time record of 476 points percentage-wise, which is the second lowest to Seattle. Boston 1-0. They have a 564 points percentage all time, so that's not too bad. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start time between Detroit and New Jersey. Both teams, anxious about this season, and Detroit looked good tonight. They're going to try to be good 2 nights in a row. New Jersey looking to bounce back. So this is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again October 25th and January 4th. 1-0 record for Detroit, who are 531 all time in their points percentage. New Jersey 0-1, and their all-time points percentage 488. And what's interesting is, and part of the reason I like doing this is because dating back to the 80s, New Jersey and Vancouver had the worst points percentage of any franchises in the NHL. And it's, almost 40 years later, and things have stayed remarkably similar. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start time between Montreal and Washington. The next meetings between these teams will be December 31st as well as April 6th. Montreal's 1-1 on the season with the loss they suffered tonight, but they played well at points and they didn't get, annihilated by any stretch. But you have to think Montembeault probably starts this one. Their all-time points percentage 583, one of the best in the league. Washington's off to an 0-2 start. They need to start getting some wins here. 533 is their all-time points percentage. Remarkable considering that first year they had back in 1970, 74, 75 there, right? So yeah, that was a rough year for Washington. There is a video on the channel about that in that truly awful seasons playlist. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start time for the Battle of Ontario. The Ottawa Senators in against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ottawa off to an 0-1 start. Toronto bounced back from an initial loss. They're 1-1 now. This is the first of 4 meetings, but they don't meet again until January 27th. Then they meet March 18th and April 1st. Ottawa's 0-1. As I said, they're 505 points percentage all time. Isn't bad again considering how badly their team played to start off in their history. Toronto 515 points percentage all time. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start time between Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. Tampa had a rough first game, but they played well tonight. They're in against Pittsburgh, who are 1-0 with their win over Arizona, which doesn't really tell us much. First of 3 meetings, they meet again February 26th and March 2nd. Tampa Bay's all-time points percentage 514. Pittsburgh's 522. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific start time between Anaheim and the New York Islanders. First of 2 meetings. They meet again on March 15th. The Ducks are 1-0, initially winning their first game of the season. They have a 534 points percentage in their all-time rankings. The Islanders 0-1 and a 513 points percentage all time. So the Islanders looking to get that win. I'm wearing an Islanders jersey because I think, sure, why not? They should win that game at home against Anaheim. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. St. Louis, the last team in the league yet to play a game. They finally get started. So they're 0-0-0 on the season. This is the first of 2 meetings. They meet again on March 11th. For Columbus, they're now 0-2. Their all-time record, 493 is their all-time points percentage, whereas St. Louis is 537. Columbus cannot afford to lose another game here. And I say that because, and I know people are going to say, oh, it's kind of early, isn't it? Not really. Very often, teams that get off to those rough first 7 or 8 games don't make the playoffs at the end of the year. So Columbus needs to get this turned around before it starts getting in the players' heads and they start, really having their struggles. They had good moments against Tampa Bay. They need to focus on that. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific start time between LA and the Minnesota Wild. LA's 0-2, Minnesota's 0-1, so something's got to give. This is the first of 3 meetings. They meet again on November 8th, and they meet on February 21st. The LA Kings all-time points percentage, 493. Those 2 cup rings make them feel better about that. Minnesota's all-time points percentage, 558, but they've never been in the final, so I guarantee you they would take the points percentage switch if it meant a couple of Stanley Cups for them. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start time as well between Nashville and Dallas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games going on at the same time at this point. So I will do my best to follow as much as I can. This is usually that point where people are like, how can you follow all of it? I can't follow all of it, but I do my best. October 13th, of course, Dallas won the first meeting between these teams 4-1. They'll meet 2 more times after tomorrow. They meet December 27th and April 3rd. Nashville 2-1 thanks to that loss against the Dallas Stars, but they have a 558 points percentage all time. Dallas is 1-0 with that victory over Nashville, 518 points percentage all time. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start time between Calgary and the Edmonton Oilers. The first of only 3 meetings this year in the Battle of Alberta, and they meet again on October 29th and December 27th. The shame in this year's scheduling, they don't meet again in the second half of the season. That's the shame of it. I'm fine with the meeting 3 times, but the fact the Battle of Alberta is done before 2023, that's tough. Calgary and Edmonton both 1-0 on the season. All-time, Calgary has a 539 points percentage, Edmonton a 523. But of course, Calgary's got 1 cup ring. The Oilers have 5, so I think the franchises would, if Calgary could reverse those things, they probably would. Moving over to this part of the board, another 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific start. There's 3 games starting at that time. Vegas in against Seattle. Seattle's all of a sudden become an interesting story. And if they were able to win this one tomorrow night, the story becomes even more interesting and it might even require a video of some sort. So this is the first of 4 meetings. These 2 expansion teams are going to get to know each other, and by which I mean the 2 most recent expansion teams. They meet November 25th, April 11th, and April 13th. So they kind of finish the season against each other. For Vegas, they're 2-0 on the season. They have the best points percentage of any franchise all time at 624. Seattle's 1-0-1. Their points percentage all time at 375. Problematic, but if they have a good year this year, they'll definitely improve from that 375. And then at 10 Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, we have the Chicago Blackhawks in against San Jose. San Jose coming off of a loss tonight. So San Jose's overall record is 0-3 on the season. I meant to put that in there after the game. I did not, so it's in there now. Their all-time points percentage is 530. For the Chicago Blackhawks, they're 0-2, 503 points percentage. Somebody has to win this game. So this is the first of 3 meetings. They meet again January 1st and February 25th. So again, somebody has to win this game. Has to. It's going to happen. Either San Jose or Chicago comes out of tomorrow with a win. They've combined for 5 losses so far, so we'll see who wins it. But one of them's going to lose, so they'll be 1-6 coming out of tomorrow night's action. But let me know your thoughts and your picks in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happen upon this video. And the odd thing is, there are no games on Sunday. That's the odd part of this schedule, that as tough as it's going to be for me to follow everything, I have nothing to worry about Sunday. So I do this. The power rankings go up after the video for this review is done. And then I can sleep a bit of Sunday morning because there's no Sunday morning games. It's odd because normally Saturday and Sunday are both days where there's games all day. This Sunday, not so much. So I could watch football, but why? Anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, including your picks. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video, and if you haven't already joined the Discord to make your picks, you still can. It's still early enough in the season. Not so much has happened that you can't build yourself quite a record as well. So think about it. The link's in the description to every video I post. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.